Hello, my friends. Do you understand what is government? Do you understand what is politics? It's easy to say things like, I hate politics. It's easy to say things like, I hate the government. But why do you hate it? Why do you vote the way you vote? Why do you act the way you act? Why do you support what you support? That's what we're going to talk about today on the Advocacy Life Podcast and blog. This is the podcast. See you soon. Hello. My name is Gary Nunez, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Advocacy Life Podcast and blog. This, of course, is the podcast. Disability and death are the only two certainties in life. There is a misconception in our world that disability will not affect everyone, when the fact is it's the opposite. It affects all of us. So let's bridge those gaps together in a fun, conversational style. Thanks for your time, and hope you enjoy the episode. Hi there, friends, and love you so much. Thank you for tuning into another episode. Here I am with my fresh bottle of water, about to sit down with you for another episode. I'm so excited. I'm going to try to do something really crazy here, really insane. I'm going to try to oversimplify government and politics so you get more involved in government politics without making you go crazy and want to kill me. I know. We're going to go through this together piece by piece. But first, let's get to the fun fact. At last month's episode, I did the fun facts at the end. My brother suggested move them up to the beginning. So here's this month's fun fact, released for this episode. I just finished the last season of Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things. I love the ending. I love the way they ended the story with 11. How she could be dead, she could not be dead. Love that. I think she's alive. I believe she's alive. I believe at some point we're going to get more episodes in another way. Or even if they don't, it's fine too. I think it ended perfectly either way. So, let me know in the comments, before we get to the real hot topics of government policy and government politics, what exactly do you think about the ending of Stranger Things? Okay, now on to the fun stuff, government and politics. Let's say, for funsies, you're hosting a party. And at your party, which is, by the way, the party is a euphemism for the country here. Let's say in this country, we all eat pizza. And it's a wonderful country. Everybody eats 3 pizzas a day. And that's all we eat. That's all we need to live off is pizza. So, we have, in our country, we have 25 people. There's approximately 8 slices of pizza. 8 slices of pizza in a pie. Right. Well, 10 people want cheese. 4 people want meat lovers. 4 other people want pineapple. They're the weirdos who want pineapple on pizza. I think it's gross. Anyway, moving on. 2 others want a vegetarian pizza. 3 others want lasagna instead of pizza. I know the math is a little off, but you get the idea. Everybody wants different things. So, first off, let's try to analyze how we decide who gets what. The point is, first off, we can't just buy three pizza pies because there's 25 people, and 8 times 3 is 24. So we have to buy another pizza pie. What do we put on that pizza pie? Who decides what goes on that pizza pie? Anyway, we just vote, and whoever gets the most votes wins. Well, that's great because the majority of the folks, 10 people, want just plain cheese pizza, right? Well, that's great and all, but what about the rest of us who don't like just plain cheese on a pizza? Do we have to pay for a pizza we don't want? If I'm meat lovers, do I want to pay for a vegetarian pizza? I don't believe in vegetarian pizza. I believe in only meat lovers. I don't want to pay for a vegetarian pizza. If I'm a vegetarian pizza lover, do I want to pay for the lasagna, guys? That's not even pizza. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's politics. It's the art of politely arguing over resources. That's not an exact definition. That is a Kevin definition. But it works all the same. Let's put this on a grander scale or a local scale. There are some things people agree about politics. We all think getting our trash picked up is a good idea, right? But what day should the trash come? How much should we pay the trash man? Should we pay for that out of our taxes? So we don't mind paying taxes to get our trash picked up, do we? That seems like a good idea. So okay, we'll pay taxes to get our trash picked up. Should we pay taxes for the Army? Should we pay taxes for the Navy? Should we pay taxes for the Air Force? Should the president get a salary? Should he work for free? How much should Congress get paid? Do we need a Congress? What does Congress do besides argue? That's what most people think, right? This is all politics. Everything you do in life is politics. Let me give you another example. If you live at home with your mother and father, which there's nothing wrong with that, I'm doing that. But they're cooking for you, so you don't have a choice. In America, we value choice. Because the odds are mom and dad's going to cook for you. You're going to eat what mom and dad make you. Right? That's essentially communism and totalitarianism. Yes, everything is free. Because mom and dad made it for you. But you don't have a choice because it's whatever they made. America does use one very effective form of socialism, which is prisons. 3 hots and a cot. It's literally in the title. 3 meals and a bed. They have no choice. All their freedom is taken away. I know they're criminals, but still, it's a socialism because everything they're being provided with everything in terms of disability. In the right group home, or I should say the wrong group home, that's also socialism because people with disabilities never have any choice of what they want to eat or how they want to spend their time. Theoretically they do, but you got the wrong staff who's overworked and not enough natural and, unnatural supports. It becomes a socialist construct. So people with disabilities, we have to know how politics works. We have to know resources. In a pizza example, going back to the pizza example, all these dishes have one thing in common. They need sauce, right? Well, instead of sauce, America runs on oil. Yes, I know we like the idea of alternative energy. So do I. Let's make the planet better, of course. But even a wind turbine at this point in society in America needs oil to spin. The truth is, right now America needs oil. How much do we spend on oil? Where do we get our oil? How does oil work? Should oil be a private enterprise or should it be sponsored by the government? Healthcare. The idea of Medicare for all sounds great in theory, but America doesn't want to pay for everyone's healthcare. That's socialist medicine. It is what it is. Medicare for all would theoretically be a socialist construct. America does not want to do that right now. That's what the people wanted. America is run by the people, and America doesn't want socialized medicine. Why? I don't know. I mean, you have to ask people's opinions. America literally is run by and for the people. Yes, I know there's corporations and greed and yada yada. But guess what? We are ultimately responsible for that greed and corruption and yada yada. Let me explain. We love Amazon, don't we? How much stuff did you buy off of Amazon this past month when you bought all your Christmas stuff? There's probably a package outside your door right now from Amazon. So, we are a consumer-based market, which is fine. That's the government we chose as people. But realize that no government of any kind, whether it be socialism or capitalism or anyism, is going to be perfect. So, we as Americans, as people, are responsible for holding our government and our elected officials accountable. There are so many misconceptions about politics in general. America is not a democracy. We are a type of democracy, but we are not a direct democracy. Let me give you another example, going back to pizza. If we all voted on the pizza pies, then obviously the majority rule would be just plain cheese, right? Because that's what the majority wants. And we would just get a whole bunch of plain cheeses. So, direct democracy cannot work because it would ultimately be death by a different kind of tyranny, but still be tyranny because the majority would still rule. In a representative democracy, which is what we currently have, we can speak to our representatives, they listen to us, and they act on our requests or beliefs or what have you. So that's how our voice gets. But unless we, the citizens who have the power, don't voice our opinions and stay silent and in our comforts that we've created for ourselves, they will do what they want to do, which is say Thomas Jefferson said that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. You're supposed to watch the government. You're supposed to know what's going on. So watch the news. Get to know the Constitution. We don't. America has no idea what's in the Constitution, I'm convinced. Most people have no idea how many amendments there are in the current U.S. Constitution. None. There are 27. So in 200 years, the founding document of our country, which is the U.S. Constitution, has been amended 27 times. Do you know what the process is for that? Do you know how that whole process works? Do you know what ratification is? Do you know how to present an amendment? Do you know what Article 5 is? No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the show notes, I'm going to put a link to a course by Khan Academy. Totally free course. Go online and learn about the Constitution and government politics. I'll put it in the show notes for you. Great course, totally. They do a really good job of making sure that content is up to date. Example, most people believe that we can't pray in schools because there's a separation of church and state. Realistically, there is nothing in the Constitution that prohibits prayer in school. In fact, it's the opposite. In the Constitution, you're guaranteed a freedom of religious expression. So theoretically, if a school wanted to do this, you could have someone who is Christian praying to Jesus next to someone who's Muslim praying to Allah. That would be perfectly constitutional. There's nothing in the Constitution that prohibits you to pray at all. What most people refer to is a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote when he was president. It's a misquoted thing. So get to know your American history. Disability advocates. I'm speaking to you on this one. When we speak to legislators, they don't know our history. They don't know our story. Okay? Most Americans only know what they see on TV when it comes to disability. So we either look like an after-school special or some kind of sob story. But if we don't know our own history and how it ties in to the greater civil rights movement and the greater American history, because we've been part of American history since the inception of the country. There was someone with cerebral palsy who signed the Declaration of Independence. Look it up. Disability is part of American history. Disability is part of American culture. We have to know it. We have to know the Constitution. Some people like our current president, some don't like our current president. Some people love Congress, some people hate Congress. But we have the power to vote them out every 2 or 4 years. But if we don't even know who we're voting for, or what we're voting for, then it doesn't matter. Do you know what your policies are? Do you know what policies you stand for? Do you know what the difference between a policy is and a opinion? And what I mean by that is an actual policy. Let me give you an example. A lot of people think that the current administration overturned abortion rights. They didn't. That was a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. I know this was a lot to unpack. I know I kind of went in the weeds here. But I think we as the disability community, we need to go in the woods. We need to understand, why do politics matter? What is politics? What is government? It's up to us. We have a role. If we just sit back and relax and enjoy the ride, yet we won't get the resources we need. Politics is politely arguing over resources. So us as advocates, we need to fight for our resources. We need to fight for our rights. Rights is one thing and resources are another. We have to know that difference. We have to advocate. Every person should have an active role in their government, in their politics. You should know who your mayor is. You should know who your assemblywoman is. You should know who your representative is. You should know who your state legislator is. You should know who to contact in Congress. I'll put a whole bunch of links in the show notes about how to contact a congressperson, how to contact a senator, and hopefully this will inspire you to go on a journey of understanding civics and understanding government, understanding politics. Civics, government, and politics are 3 different things. Look them up. Hopefully I gave you enough breadcrumbs here to actually go on a little journey. That's what I wanted to do. If you have any questions specifically, let me know in the comments, and I'll gladly answer what I can. Talk to you very soon. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Keep on rolling. Keep on living. Wow, you guys, what a great episode that was. At least for me. Was it for you? If you liked it, please do me a favor. Click the like click the subscribe. It takes you 2 seconds, and it really, really helps me out. Second, please share this and tell a friend. If you want more content, I've got a free blog that comes out once a week on Wednesdays starting in January. And you want more content, I published 2 books called Living Beyond Disability. It's a book series on Amazon. Check them out. They're all in the description below. If you want more content, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Thread, all that good stuff. They're all in the description below. I've got a PayPal and a Cash App if you want to donate directly. No big deal, just if you want to support. Thank you guys for all the help. Keep on rolling. Keep on living.